Creativity is an addiction. Unplugged because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged.
Hey, it's Arroe. This is Defrag. Asking the questions, questioning the answers, having a physical conversation with everything that is you. We depend so much on other people giving us direction, and we forget that the inner part of us is a compass. It knows. You've always known. It's given to you at birth, but we let other people's decisions control everything that we're doing. Ask the questions, question the answers. I do it in a journal, and then we do this vocal defragging, where we're out on a transition walk, strolling through this beautiful forest in South Charlotte, North Carolina. Sadly, you can't hear all the birds, but you can hear other things, maybe the wind, the rain that's building up. There are things around us every day, but we're not aware of it. And I think that's going to be our subject today on Defrag, is that what are you ignoring that's happening around you? And why are you ignoring it? That's a tough cookie to bite into, because we are a content-driven nation, especially after the lockdown for COVID-19. We instantly went to those smartphones, those computers. We were doing whatever we could to clog up our minds so we didn't have to think about this mysterious thing that was happening to not just your city, but the rest of the world. Because I'm a martial artist, what happens is that I'm very much aware of. I've had to grow into that pair of shoes. When I go into a restaurant, I don't sit with my back to the door. No, that's not the way we're trained. I have to become aware of. My dog Jazzy is the same way. She has to know everything that's taking place. She is aware. But the thing that gets me, and it reminds me so much of the people that I know, and you might be one of them. And I'm not going to say this is wrong. I'm just saying through awareness. Jazzy will look at things behind us, where we've been. And she wants to go back to where we've been. That's a heavy-duty subject. How often do you see what needs to be accomplished, but you find yourself looking over your shoulder because something back there has your attention? Was it something that you didn't finish? You didn't get enough praise for? What's back there? Now, people will always tell me that, man, you keep journals. You've been writing for 29 years. But, dude, here's the thing. You can go back and you can reread your life anytime you want. I can. That is the truth. But I don't. I don't go anywhere near it. I really don't. And the reason being is because when you're living a lifestyle of what is mindful in your present place of now, it's more difficult to go into your past because you've trained yourself to be right here. Yeah, I keep a defrag journal. I think I write more in my defrag journal than I do in my morning journal. And the reason being is because there's so much moving through us at all times. I think you should start your own vocal defrag. Put it on your smartphone. When something is moving through you, just put it down. Record it. And then come back to it and say, damn, because I made myself aware of what was moving through me in that moment of now, I'm able to learn from it. That's not living in your past. That's speaking to your future self. You know, you didn't know what being in the 12th grade was all about in the first grade. You just knew it was really cool to be away from the house for a few hours a day. And by the time you got to the 12th grade, unless you loved school, you were doing everything you could to take study hall or get out there in that park because you skipped school. But taking vocal notes, understanding that through awareness that you become a greater student. My pastor today, Stephen Furtick, brought up something very interesting. And once again, this is not a judgment. This is not anything but just having a conversation with you. The subject was based on our instruments. What are the instruments that we were given that we tend to ignore? We let other people have. We think that it's a strength, and when it's not a strength, then we try to go create other musical instruments or drawing instruments, talking instruments. We try to go and get an app for this and an app for that. And what happens is that we clog up ourselves, and that real instrument that we're supposed to be holding is just sitting there. His example was a guitar, an electric guitar. In the wrong hands, that guitar is silent. In the right hands, it plays the music. So I ask you about that personally, Not to steal from my pastor, I'm not, because it was planted and it's growing. What instrument do you have that is in the wrong hands? And when I say that, you know where I'm going with this, because you know how I feel about other people using our instruments. I don't like it when people play with my toys. I don't like it. My mom used to say, you're not nice to people. She would always say things like, now, son, you need to learn how to share. You need to learn how to share. Well, it took a little bit to get me to learn how to share. A couple bops upside the head and getting beat up by my brothers and sisters. Then, because they wanted what I had. They wanted my instrument, especially when it came to what I had in my early breeding days of wanting to be in radio. Hey, he has records. Hey, he's got a turntable. Hey, he's got speakers. I want. And so I would have to share my instruments. It didn't change, and I'm sure you're in the same boat, that when you share your skills, your gifts, other people, especially in the business world, they like to take what you have, and they like to benefit what it is that they want to bring forward through the avenues of success. And where is your instrument in all of that? Everybody is trying to steal your instrument. But if it's in the right hands, then your instrument is strong, and it makes a difference. Through awareness, we find out more about ourselves. That's defragging. And on a vocal defrag, when you drop your vocals down and you go back and listen to it, it's not like a thought, because you can change your thoughts at the drop of a hat. But when you physically hear yourself going through the motions of thinking out loud, your instrument becomes stronger. Ask yourself the questions. Question the answers. It's so simple, yet so challenging.